My first piece of advice on this question is don't get overwhelmed. I know it's a long story, but remember, this is question number 7. So we're, out of 22 total, we would be kind of near the beginning of the section. This is still going to be considered a relatively easy question. So there's probably not a whole lot you're supposed to extract from this story. So let's follow the question here. We've got 50,000 people, 1,000 are chosen for a survey, okay? 35% support whatever legislation we're talking about with some sort of margin of error of 3%. Based on these results, which of the following is a plausible value for, and this is the important part, the total number of people in the population who support the proposed legislation? There are lots of ways for them to have slightly changed the wording of that question to ask for a completely different number. So that's why it's so important. So what we need to know is, since we're talking about the whole population, we have 50,000 people who we're choosing from, right? That's the number that matters. And then the number who support, we saw that was 35%. So I'm going to use what I would call my open formula, which is just used to take a simple percentage of something. O stands for the original amount, that's 50,000. P stands for the percentage as a decimal, so that's 35%. And that's going to get me some new value, which is just, in this case, 35% of 50,000. So maybe you didn't need the formula to do that, but the SAT, of course, is very good at using percentages against us. So it's good to know the formula just in case it gets more twisted. And so that answer is going to be 17,500, which is not an answer choice. But I think even if you have no idea what's going on from here, you'd still probably guess choice C, which is the correct answer. And the reason is that comes down to that plus or minus 3%. Okay, so a margin of error means that basically the survey is a little bit inaccurate. And pretty much every survey is going to have inaccuracy built in, right? You're going from 50,000 people that you're trying to measure, and then you're only asking 1,000 to do the survey. You're going to limit yourself in some way. So the margin of error means that instead of 35%, the actual range of possible percentages is 32 to 38%, right? 35 minus 3, 35 plus 3. So it gives us a range. And my guess is if I took 32% of 50,000 or 38% of 50,000, I would get a wider range of possible numbers. And then 16,750 would probably fall in that range. But because the answer choices were so spread out, I knew I wasn't going to need to worry about that. So I didn't. If they were tighter together, I might need to be more exact. But in this case, it's just super obvious that even though this is not perfect, it's only close to one thing. The margin of error will somehow include the 16,750. I don't need to prove it.